Everyone, this is Slick Ham Gamer. I know it's like 5:30 in the morning, but I just really gotta get this out of the way. This is Hearts and Hooves Day. So, first, I gotta be honest with you, when I just first saw this episode, I actually remember when I was pre-watching this before the review, I actually thought I was re-watching the very first episode, the first season again. Just wanted to put that out. So anyway, our episode begins at the CMNC Clubhouse as they're making a gigantic heart for Hearts and Hooves Day. And they're doing it for their teacher, Miss Cheerilee.
Only comes once a year after all. I say we add a little more ribbon.
And judging by all the hearts and beautiful decorations, obviously Hearts and Hooves Day is Ponyville's version of Valentine's Day. And if some of you don't know me, I'm not really much of a huge fan of Valentine's Day. Well, anymore.
Tiny bit more later. A few more hoop prints. Glitter. You could definitely use a little more glitter. Now that'll show Miss Cheerilee how much we care about her. Just have to get it to the Hearts and Hooves party at school. I think we're gonna need a bigger envelope.
Yeah, I mean, if you put that much effort into a card, you seriously need to find something that would fit it. So anyways, cut to the school. The CMNC show off their Hearts and Miss Cheerilee's, and she's very happy with it.
Big! We just wanted to let you know that we think you're the best teacher in the whole wide world. And we think you're super, and that we love you so much. And we want you to have the best Hearts and Hooves Day ever! Thank you so much, girls. I love it. I really do. I'm sure it's nothing compared to the gift you've gotten from your very special fun pony.
Did Sweetie Belle start taking romantic dating advice from Rarity? I don't think I'm fond of that.
Oh, I don't have a very special fun pony at the moment.
Okay, I gotta admit, those facial expressions, did you know which one? Those are pretty funny.
Really? How could some pony as amazing as you not have a very special fun pony on Hearts and Hooves Day?
Okay, and now Cheerilee's expression of, I really don't want to deal with these kids' face, actually kind of bogs that humor down for me. I mean, again, if she's supposed to be a teacher, she's not supposed to be like, oh my god, I want to shoot these little bastards right now. Like, she's a teacher, she's supposed to respect them. Come on.
It's alright, Sweetie Belle. I have lots of good friends and wonderful students who care about me very much. I'm going to have an absolutely terrific Hearts and Hooves Day.
And
Hit the heart on the pony! Oh, yeah.
Alright. So the CMNC...
She deserves to have one of the best stallions as her very special fun pony.
Alright, so the CMNC decides to try to find a stallion for Miss Cheerilee, and song time. Alright, I gotta admit, the song itself is actually somewhat catchy, and the beat's kinda nice. Not to mention, it actually started the fan fiction of Button Mash, and it also explains why I keep seeing pictures of Sweetie Belle and Button Mash on Facebook, but I digress. Yeah, I'm surprised that kids that are 8, 10 years old can somehow know the difference of a girlfriend and boyfriend and romantic advice. I'm not sure if I'm really fond of that. Wait, what? So, ponies can somehow have weird jelly fetishes? Okay, this episode is actually starting to make me a little sick. Okay, so they eventually find Alright, so the CMNC eventually find the stallion during the song, and Apple Bloom realizes something.
Let me get this straight. Are you talking about my brother?
Again, I'm really not surprised that the writers of this episode decided to go with Big Mac due to the amount of fan fiction in between Big Mac and the main six. Yippity fucking Ray.
Sweetie Bella's right. Big Macintosh is the perfect match for Miss Cheerlead. He's really nice, super hardworking, but he's also pretty shy.
Hey, like me.
He's never gonna ask Miss Cheerlead to be his very special sum pony. Maybe he doesn't have to. Huh? If we can get Big Mac and Miss Cheerlead in a really romantic setting, I bet she'll ask him. Sounds like a plan to me. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get on fire and create the perfect thing. Yeah!
Okay, I hate to be a buzzkill, though I doubt a lot of people like this episode, but this is where we get to one of the major problems with the episode. The CMNC trying to get Miss Cheerlead and Big Mac to fall in love with each other. It's pretty much like the equivalent of trying to have a forced marriage in India, okay? I mean, what's the point?
Hi, girls.
So they fix up the whole old thing by themselves, and once Miss Cheerlead comes, they try to make him believe that it's not a date.
You said you needed help identifying a tree you found here near the gazebo? That's an apple tree.
What, did Miss Cheerlead turn to Miss Puff for a second? I mean, what was that?
Is it?
I swear that snickering is some...
Oh, sorry, big brother. We went and fixed up the gazebo all on our own.
I'm starting to question the logic of how these little kids not only understand the maintenance of love, but also somehow know how to work with equipment. And that they would probably no doubt have their eyes smashed out if they did something wrong.
As long as you're here.
Okay, and now we get to the major problem with the episode. Again, trying to force the date between the two.
Oh gosh, seems like there's only room for two.
Seriously, the humor in this scene is so obvious, you swear it's like watching the forced marriages that they do in like, India. Hell, even the romantic stuff will make it even more obvious, and it's clear that these two aren't even in love. Though, I gotta admit, we have this favorite joke of mine.
Something stuck in your teeth. Oh, come on! Well, this has been strange.
Strange? Maybe from Burning Man. This is pretty fucked up to me.
I need to get going. Hearts and Hooves Day. Did you know that this holiday got its start because of a love potion?
I smell Deus Ex. Yeah, so after the CMNC's disappointment of the failed date, they bump into Twilight and find out that she's reading a book about Hearts and Hooves Day. And they decide to borrow the book because of that love potion.
Say, a love potion? That's right. It even has the recipe. I don't suppose we could borrow that book for a little while.
And I hope that spell doesn't come back to bite them in the ass later.
Yep. Of course you can. I have another book here.
Alright. So they fix up the potion, and once again, we get as obvious get of romantic humor.
So, we'll just leave you two alone.
Yeah, seriously, the jokes for the romantic scenes are pretty much jokes that even in date movie would be ashamed of writing.
Together.
Get on with it! Okay, so long story short, they drink the potion, and the CMNC...
He's my special sun pony.
And then... this happens.
He's my schmoopy doopy sweetie weedy pony pie.
Huh?
You're
Did he just say?
Actual sentences? Yes, Apple Bloom. But then again, your big brother isn't the first time he was able to speak sentences, going back to the Applebuck season. And apparently they're now being possessed by Discord, even though he's turned to stone.
You're my cutie patootie, lovey-dovey honey bunny.
You're my hardest, smartest, hoochie-woochie baby waiter.
Be back!
I swear to God, this episode's starting to become a 5-star restaurant of wrong.
Hey! Hello! What?
I understand that the potion's supposed to make them romantic, but
Are you alright?
honestly,
I have
it just comes off as creepy.
a kissy, wissy, wuggy, wuggy,
Again, I'm not a huge fan of Valentine's Day because, again, I just think it's a holiday where love is basically just follows over me just to play with my heartstrings, and it almost feels like somebody just ripped my heart out and I have to see it black before I die. But even I admit that not everybody at my school would even consider of saying those things to their Valentine.
I think we may have given them too big of an edge.
Cuddly one with the pumpkin pie.
You think? What have we done? My brother's acting like a grade A goofball.
And I smell irony. Okay, so what I mean by that is that Sweetie Belle looks through the book and she finds out and tells Apple Bloom and Scootaloo that they gave them a love poison rather than a love potion.
Apparently, some prince a long time ago whipped up this recipe and gave it to this princess. He meant it to be a love potion, but things didn't turn out so well. How not so well did things turn out? Well, there's something here about a dragon, a kingdom falling, chaos reigning. Okay, apparently it was all because the prince and princess were so lost in each other's eyes that they couldn't perform their royal duties.
Really? I would honestly think that the dragon and the chaos reigning seems like a more dangerous situation rather than looking into each other's eyes.
Great! We've not only turned Big Mac and Miss Cheerily into a couple of nonsense-spouting nincompoops, we may have put all the Ponyville in jeopardy! Come on, Apple Bloom. Miss Cheerily and Big Mac don't have any royal duties.
But
They still got responsibilities. If we don't fix this, Miss Cheerily won't be able to teach.
yeah, teaching the stuff that you already probably known that you've known about since first grade.
Big Mac won't be able to harvest any apples.
You know you still have Applejack. Heck, she can still pick up the... Oh wait, I forgot Applebuck season. Never mind.
And before you know it, Ponyville will be overrun with uneducated pony stars forever.
Okay, where do I even begin? First off, you will have no school whatsoever. I think that would probably be one of the greatest singing graces you might ever had. Second, I'm sure everybody in Ponyville already graduated by the time, so I'm sure they already know this. With the exception of the starving, I don't really think there'd be much chaos. Well, if you call dying a starvation and something, then I don't really think it's much chaos. Again, you have no school. Take advantage of it. Okay, so Sweetie Belle finds an antidote. What?
Why didn't you say so? Didn't you see me getting all panicked back there? If we can keep Miss Cheerily and Big Mac from looking into each other's eyes for one full hour, the love curse will be broken. Only an hour? We can pull that off in a second.
Yeah, trying to pull that off in like 60 seconds. No, 60 minutes. So we cut back to Scary Coop Corner where...
You take it, Snooty Belle.
I'm all for romance, but this has been going on for hours.
I mean, after all, you're married and you have kids.
What's happened to these two? No.
Yeah, rather than tell somebody the truth so they can at least help them out figure out what the hell is happening, the CMNC decided to take matters into their own hands and try to get the two to be married.
I have a very special son, Polly.
Yeah, we know it. Gosh, you two are so in love. The next thing you know, you'll be getting married.
Married?
That's right. Married.
You know what? I have nothing to say. Like, except maybe that. Okay, so the CMNC decided to split them apart for a while as Sweetie Belle...
10 minutes down, shop.
So while Sweetie Belle tries to basically put up everything she can to block Miss Cheerily, Scootaloo and Apple Bloom basically try to get a diamond for Big Mac to get for Miss Cheerily, but Big Mac sneaks out the back.
Just departed out the back. Said something about needing to see his smell.
Oh. Okay, I'll see what I can do to slow him down. You go on to Carousel Boutique and more Sweetie Belle.
Alright, so Apple Bloom tries to stop her big brother, and because he's so in love, he tries to bounce his way, and then we get this obvious joke. Okay, how strong is Big Mac? How is he able to pull 2 balls and that many iron weight? What is he, suddenly turned into the Incredible Hulk? Alright, so Scootaloo gets the Sweetie Belle and tries to warn her about Big Mac.
Wait! Gotta keep him out of the boutique.
And then we get this. So just when it seems the house could stop, guy. I mean, seriously. I mean, pulling balls and that many tons of iron is one thing, but he has the strength to pull a freaking house. I think Captain America and Thor would be jealous of this guy. So eventually, Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo create a hole and stop him with a giant hole with a mattress at the bottom. And how does this bode well? I never want Miss Cheerily to make that face again. So finally, I think judging by those expressions, I think it's the what the f just happened.
Am I wearing a wedding veil?
Nope.
Are you sitting on a feather bed in a hole in the ground?
Nope.
Girls, can you explain why I look like I'm getting married at the bottom of a pit?
Okay, time for moral.
We may have given you the tiniest bit of love potion that may have turned out to actually be a love poison. And you may have gone just a tiniest bit nutty.
You know, I might be borrowing the Rowdy Reviewer for this, but I think I have to agree with what he said about the jokes in Alan frickin' Gregory. Is that I could play the robot chicken, this isn't funny gag, in a loop 50 times in my head, and it still wouldn't convey of how unfunny that is.
Well, we only did it because we thought you and Big Mac would be really happy if you could be each other's very special sun ponies on Hearts and Hooves Day. Our hearts and hooves were in the right place.
We appreciate that you care about us and want us to be happy, but
no matter how good our intentions might have been, we should have never meddled in your relationship. No pony can force two ponies to be together. It's up to every pony to choose that very special sun pony for themselves. We're sorry.
And you can think about how sorry you are while you're doing all of Big Mac's chores at Sweet Apple Acres. Does that seem like a fair punishment to you?
Yep.
Okay. I call that punishment bullshit. I mean, he just saved your life for pretty much getting any pony who couldn't even figure out what 2 plus 2 is, and for almost starving to death. Yes. I say they earned a free pass. So the episode ends with them doing the chores and giving a hint that they might not be cured, or they're just messing with them. And seeing how you're going to do this in a later episode in Season 3, this isn't going to fly. So that was Hearts and Hooves Day. I mean, this was by no means a bad episode. It was just... I mean, some of the jokes were just like some of the jokes are hit and miss. The song, I'll admit, has a catchy beat while admittingly terrible lyrics. The plot was just really inconsistent and honestly relatively confusing, and the CMNC's intentions to me just come off as a little selfish. I mean, there's not a lot I can say about this episode because, to be honest, it was just like, like, I just don't really know what to say about this episode. Like, as a whole, Hearts and Hooves Day, it's okay. I'd probably give it a C at best. So, again, as a whole, Hearts and Hooves Day is by no means a bad episode. It's just the same thing I just feel about every other episode I've rated in the C range. So again, Hearts and Hooves Day is not bad, just okay. So again, Hearts and Hooves Day earns a C. So, I'm Flipcan Gamer, and I'll see you in A Friend of Dean.